Okay, so you must have gone through my class PPT, right? And you must have come prepared after going through the class cost classification exercise. For your convenience, I have already shared one of my video on YouTube, right? So if you want to have a class feel where something extra has been discussed, that has been captured on the YouTube video, so you can go through that if you wish, and I would keep on posting the video as the time permits me, right? So whenever it is posted, you will all automatically get the notification if you like that particular YouTube channel. So it may further assist you to have a classroom feeling as such, and something extra which is being discussed or which is coming out due to the class discussion, that can also be taken care of, and you would be having better advantage. Both the things would be there. Your PPT will be also there, your class video will be also. So I would certainly like that you should go through that YouTube video and please like the channel so that you are continuously getting the updates. Okay, I start with the PPT on the understanding the cost. The file has already been shared in the Google Classroom, right? So I'm just going quickly with these things, and some of the things I have already discussed yesterday, right? So kindly make a note if suppose something extra is going to come. All right, so why it is not changing here? Are you able to see the screen change?
No, sir.
Just a minute.
So one more thing.
Yeah.
Also, few students have posted in the chat box that they have some mic issues. That's why they were not able to mark themselves present for the attendance.
How can I be sure? If suppose they have joined late. Rashri?
So I'll have to check, but they posted in the chat a little bit earlier. Even I just saw.
Okay, let me see what we can do.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
I am able to hear, don't worry. Just I am trying to share the things. It is not getting shared. All right, so as I said, today we are going to discuss in depth about the cost. Yesterday, I had given you few of the introduction regarding the cost classifications, the overview of the management accounting, how it is different from the financial accounting, why is it superior than the financial accounting, and what type of managerial decisions you can take. I had also used one sentence that you have to take a dynamic leap in your thought process. Again, I repeat that you have to come out of the fever of financial accounting, because as we progress further in this course, right, people are still swimming in the concept of the financial accounting. They are not able to digest few of the issues, few of the concepts like humanitarian aspect, like capacity of the plant, capacity of the human being, why we are taking the unfavorable capacity variance, why we are taking opportunity cost, all those things will slowly come, right? Why we are taking the estimates, okay? Why we are predetermining the normal losses, even if it has not happened. So all those issues are there, which you have never come across in financial accounting, but we talk about all those things in the management accounting. So that's why I said that you have to make your views little bit more wider and come out of that particular concept of the financial accounting where you have been only doing debit and credit and the ratio analysis. So go along with me, and it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult for us if you don't come out of that particular concept. And so it is better that you travel along with me, along with my concept, so that the things are clear. For others who have the background of commerce, right? For them, it may look little bit childish, but for others, it becomes essential that you please pay proper attention whatever we are trying to discuss in from this particular session. Yesterday's session was a little bit theoretical, little bit introductory. Now the real thing starts. So I hope that you must have gone through the PPT, and we will slowly share some of the things, and after that we will take up the cost classification exercise if the time permits. Now, if you see this, you will find that your total net profit is 15,000, and that is what the you can say companies show it, that okay, my profit is this much, and this is what is actually happening, and your company is earning profit of 15,000, and you are happy. You do the ratio analysis on this particular figure, and your sales are increasing, your gross profit is there in a positive manner, your net profit is there, which is positive, and therefore you are happy and your shareholders are also happy. But this is not efficiency. As a manager, you have, as I told you, that you have to think something beyond. So once you go and start doing the product-wise analysis, segment-wise analysis, central analysis, right? Different responsibility centers are there. That type of analysis, you would find that the things are not so rosy as they look in a very simple manner here. So if we extend it further, so if you extend it further, you will find that here product A is having profit, product B is having losses, and product C is again having profit. So once you have done the product wise analysis, now you will find that the things are not so rosy. You will find that here in this case, product B is actually giving you losses, right? So how you take managerial decisions? Here you cannot take managerial decisions. This particular aspect, you cannot take managerial decisions. But here in this case, you can take managerial decisions. What type of decisions? Either to discard product B, either to continue with product A and C and shift the resources of product B on some particular proportion to product A and C, or trying to reduce some of the costs of product B so that it becomes profitable. For example, you can think of reducing product B administrative expenses. Such of the things are not at all possible in case of financial accounting. Whereas in management accounting, the things are very clear that which product you need to take in, which product you don't have to take. Right? So this is just a very simple hypothetical example to give you the idea that how do we start taking decisions, because our whole exercise is not crunching the numbers. Our exercise is based upon taking decisions. That is what is more important. Now, okay. If we see the financial accounting versus analysis, you will find the statement which is very, very clear that it is not providing detailed cost information, as I had shown you in the previous slide. So if suppose there are 3 processes involved, okay, suppose the sugarcane industry is there. There are multiple processes involved where the molasses are separated, then bagasse is separated, and in each of the processes there are different chemicals which are added, then refinement is done. Now, if suppose one process has certain losses, another process has different losses, then how would you differentiate between these 2 types of losses unless and until you make the different process account? Process 1, process 2, process 3, like this. You can't differentiate. So consolidated financial statements are not going to be helpful for you as a manager. Further, you are not able to know the behavior of the different costs, how the cost is actually moving. Suppose material 1 is required in process 2, material 2 is required in process 1. How would you differentiate unless and until you prepare the different accounts of the process 1, process 2, process 3? You can't differentiate. Therefore, as I said, that you need to understand how the cost actually moves, how the cost actually affects the different segments, different processes within the organization. So you need to understand that what is the cost, what is this cost, in order to interpret and act on the accounting information. So normally when the companies are doing well and there are good times for them, they are least concerned about cost, right? But when it is really a tough time, then their attention comes towards cost control and cost reduction. Remember, yesterday I had given you the example that a company has 2 products, valves and float controllers, and on the valves they were having monopoly, but later on they started facing tough competition. Then what happened? Then they had to concentrate upon the cost, because they cannot move the market, they cannot reduce the competition, they cannot lure the customers to buy their own product, right? So always you need to see that if external economy you can't control, ultimately you have to come to that particular old statement of what? cost control and cost reduction techniques. See internally what are the different avenues by which you can actually reduce the cost. And therefore, you should know what are the different type of costs, what are their computations, and what are their usage. For a particular company in the different department, one cost may be fixed, and another, the same very cost may be variable. So where it is variable, where it is fixed, you should be able to understand that, and that's why I said that you have to prepare a detailed cost information. Sometimes the cost is fixed, sometimes the cost is variable. In one department it is fixed, in another department of the same company it can be variable depending upon the cost object. We will talk about what are those cost objects and how the cost is different in the different departments. Different scenarios may happen, right? So what is management accounting? What is cost accounting? Yesterday I had given you the feel about that we cannot talk management accounting or cost accounting without taking the assistance of financial accounting. Financial accounting is must. So if it is not there, you cannot take decisions, right? So that's why if you see this figure, financial accounting serves as a base. Okay, it serves as a base, and you get the cost data. You get the cost data from the cost accounting. Then both the things, the financial accounting and the cost accounting, helps you to do the analysis, managerial decisions, management accounting, what we say. So both are required. Then only you can take decisions, right? So pretty long definition has been given at the end. You can see that establishment of budget, standard cost, actual cost of operation, process, activities or products, and analysis of variances, profitability or the social use of the funds. Don't get confused with such a long definition. Well, in a very simple manner, management accounting basically means that we start taking managerial based decisions based upon the cost and financial accounting data. So all decisions come, whether it is variance analysis, whether it is forecasting, whether it is a budgetary exercise, whether it is deciding about the operations, process, activities of the products. It can be anything. It can be segment analysis, right? Nowadays we are listening about the just-in-time theory. Different other new developments have started taking place in the management accounting area. All those things would come after getting the input from financial accounting data and the cost accounting. Yesterday I had told you that no matter what type of organization it is, whether it is a service industry, whether it is a merchandising industry or manufacturing industry, everywhere the cost becomes important. Even when the government is there, even when the individuals are there, even when the sole proprietorship or partnership concerns are there, everywhere the cost becomes important. Yesterday I have already told you and gave you many of the examples. So whether it is partnership, proprietorship, corporations, non-profit organizations, profit-oriented companies, even the government, everywhere the cost becomes important. So now, after so much discussion of yesterday and today, now you must be very comfortable to understand what are the basic difference between financial accounting and managerial accounting. Remember, yesterday I had told you that you are working on the dead accounts. They are actually dead. Why they are dead? Because they are talking about the financial year where the transactions have already happened. What type of decisions you will take? You cannot take decisions because the things have already happened. Balance sheet as on 31st March 2021. Profit and loss account as on 31st March 2021. Things have already happened. How to take decisions? Whereas in case of managerial accounting, you start taking decisions from the day one on the basis of budgets. Right? So, why we use management account? It is not for your shareholders. It is not for your shareholders. It is for you. That means the managers who plan and control the organization, they are going to use it. And this one is actually for external persons who make financial decisions. So we are not concerned about the shareholders. For shareholders, it's the whole of the company who should be concerned. As a manager, you are concerned about the efficiency of your concern, efficiency of your department center to whom you are working or to whom you are reporting. It is historical. As I told you, things have happened and you have recorded. Transactions have been done and you have recorded. But what transactions are going to happen, you have never seen. So it is future oriented. We talk about in terms of budgets. It's a budgetary exercise which we do. Normal loss may occur, may not occur, but we estimate it because we can't wait for normal loss to actually happen. But we are very sure that sooner or later it would accrue in our production process. So we need to take that thing into consideration. Emphasis is on objectivity and verifiability. Right? You have to follow the generally accepted accounting principles. You have to follow the Indian accounting standards. You have to follow a proper format of the statement which you are going to put it in your annual reports, or which you are going to show to your shareholders in the annual general meeting, or you are going to submit it to the Institute of Chartered Accountants. But here it is not like that. It is only the relevance for planning and control. As I told you that it is not essential for you to prepare cost accounting records. You may prepare, you may not prepare, but if you do not prepare, you are going to perish. As a professional organization, you should know about the cost. And for that, it becomes important that you should know that how your cost is behaving. And for that, it becomes essential that you should prepare the cost accounting records. Importance here is precision of information. Why? Because at the end of the year, before closure of the account, you see that your balance sheet tallies. If it doesn't tally, naturally there is a problem in accounting. Your assets should be equal to liabilities. If it is not there, something you have missed, something you have wrongly entered. So you need to again go through that particular exercise. So it should be precise. It should be information oriented as per the format given by the generally accepted accounting principles and Indian accounting standards. But here in this case, it is not like that. It is only the timeliness of the information. You should get the information at time. Why? Because accountability goes hand in hand with responsibility, my dear friends. You very well know, you are all managers. So if suppose you have been, suppose you are a stores manager and you have been given the issuance of about, let us say, 1,000 liters of petrol. Okay. So you are responsible for 1,000 liters of petrol. Accountability goes hand in hand with responsibility. Now suppose 10 liters, 100 liters of petrol evaporates, then. So if suppose you are responsible for 1,000 liters and 100 liters have not been accounted as the normal losses, what will you do? You are going to be penalized. So in order to safeguard against all those situations, there should be the timeliness of the information. That means the normal loss should be properly accounted for, right? Similarly, the subject focus is the summarized data for a whole of the organization. In the first slide, I had shown you that it was showing you gross profit, so it is the summarized data. But here it is a detailed segment report. It may be the process, it may be the product, it may be the department, it may be the center, anything. I told you that you need to follow this generally accepted accounting principles, but here there is no essential criteria to follow GAAP or any prescribed format. So in other words, this science is highly flexible. Highly flexible. And it is mandatory. I told you it is mandatory. But here it is not mandatory. But that doesn't mean that you can skip. You can escape. That you cannot do. If you do not prepare, how would you know timely that what are the different type of cost, where the cost is moving, how the cost is affecting, all those things, right? Well, I take a pause for half a minute. If you have any doubts up to this level, you can ask. Any doubts? All right.
Sir, can we say like the managerial accounting gets transformed into financial accounting because of the decisions we are taking now will be, converted into the past
Mr.
records
Yadav,
into financial.
hope you remember my yesterday's discussion that anyway, what type of exercise you do, both the ways are different. Okay, but ultimately the cost accounting profit should match with the financial accounting profit at the end. So both the fields should be integrated with each other. For example, you would not find interest on taxes. You would not find the share dividends in your cost accounting data. But you similarly, normal loss you would not find. Abnormal losses you would not find in financial accounting data. So naturally, the cost accounting profit and the financial accounting profits would not match. But ultimately, you will have to match both the financial accounting and cost accounting profits with reconciliation statements. Later on, we will see. And if it doesn't match, then you are not following both the records properly. It has to match. Okay, so you, in that way, you are correct that management accounting should take the form of financial accounting. I would take it as a refinement. I would say that management accounting should not take a shape of financial accounting, but both the profits should match. Got my point? All
yes,
right.
I got it.
Well, there are this particular slide gives you the simple idea of management, and most of the courses must have shown you this. I am also showing it, but in a different manner. That everywhere, any type of department which is there, whether it is planning, whether it is a control, whether it is a directing, and whether it is a decision making. Everywhere the cost becomes important. How do you plan? Unless and until you don't have the cost, you cannot plan. How much cost would be incurred, you should know. That means you focus on what? On budgets. How do you control? If you don't have the previous year cost and the current year cost, you cannot make comparison. That is whether the employee or the company has underperformed or overperformed. So in the control also, you need to have the cost. How do you give the direction? Unless and until you have the positive variances or negative variances, you cannot give directions. If positive variances are there, that means you were able to reduce the cost, you give what? Rewards. And if it is negative variance, that means you were not able to reduce the cost. What do you do? Don't do hire and fire, but give training and motivation. Decision making. Some of the external factors may be there, some of the internal factors may be there. Internal factors may be controlled. For example, why the laborers are actually and frequently going to the strikes and lockouts? Or why the laborers are actually sitting idle? Maybe you can change the vendor because the vendors are not supplying the raw materials at time. And if there is a strike and lockout, maybe you can see that whether some managers are not doing properly their role, they are not able to satisfy the laborers as such, or they are lacking certain facilities. This is decision making. Cost. And then again, the cycle starts with planning. So everywhere the cost becomes important. And please remember this, I had told you that cost is not to be compromised with quality and time. You don't have to forget this. That's very important. So everywhere it's important. Whether it is operations, whether it is product costing, whether it is customer costing, whether it is strategic control, everywhere the managers are going to play a very important role. No doubt, I have written here the management accountant role, but you will not assume this role as such. You will work as a professional manager who has the capability of identifying the cost from any type of department, from any type of process. You are not confined as a management accountant who just only collects and compiles the information, prepares report, interprets, analyzes the information, and he is involved in decision making. That's okay. But as a manager, you should be sharp enough to locate the costs. All right. Well, over the years, different type of management accounting methods have evolved, and sooner or later we will see. There is job costing, there is process costing, there is uniform costing, there is direct costing, absorption costing, standard costing, historical costing. Whatever we are learning here, it is actually absorption costing. What does this mean? It means any type of cost which is there, it has to be absorbed towards the product. So product has to absorb all the costs. So whatever we will learn is actually absorption costing. Then we have job costing, which means that it is for a particular job we are doing. There is a process costing also, where we try to ascertain the cost of a particular process. For example, chemical industries there, petrochemical industries are there, paint industries there, flour industries there. All these are based upon process. Sugarcane industries there. So we will see each one of them in greater depth once we cover separately. We will be covering job costing, process costing, standard costing, historical costing, everything. So now my lecture would be based upon these 5 or 6 different terminologies. We will firstly study what is a cost. How do you define a cost object? How do you accumulate and assign the cost? How do you classify the cost? What are the different type of the cost drivers? And what do you understand by the total cost and total unit? Let's understand it. Yesterday, I have given you a feel about all those terminologies, so nothing new. It would be a slight test of some of the things which we have already discussed yesterday. So what a cost is? It's the resource sacrifice or foregone to achieve a specific objective. Please remember it. It's a very different definition as compared to the definition given for financial accounting as a concept of financial accounting. Why we are saying this? It's a resource sacrificed or foregone to achieve a specific objective. That means what? It can be expressed in monetary terms. It may not be expressed in monetary terms. If we are talking about the capacity of the plant, where it has the capacity of the 1,000 lines of production, it actually produced 900 lines of production. That doesn't mean that 100 lines of production did not have the cost. It had the cost, which we don't take in financial accounting, but we take in cost accounting. And that is called unfavorable capacity variance, which I had already told you yesterday. Hope you remember. And this is what? This is your opportunity cost. Right? For the next best alternative foregone. You have not utilized the plant properly, and that is your cost. This has to be taken into consideration. Similarly, what is a cost object? Cost object basically means, in a very simple term, for which we are finding the cost. It may be the cost of a product, cost of a process, cost of a service, cost of a department, project, and activity. Right? And this object is to be chosen which is appropriate to capture all the costs. Okay. For example, the whole processes are taken into consideration as compared to only one single process. Everything should capture the cost of manufacturing that. For example, I have given you the example. If it is a product, it can be a bicycle for which you are finding the cost. If it is a service industry, it can be the cost of the airline flight, which is flying from Paris to Munich. If it is a project, it can be a cost of the assembly of the aeroplane by Airbus. If it is for the customers, so all the products purchased by the Rolls-Royce or Lucas. So it can be anything. It can be for activity, it can be for department, it can be for program. In simple words, it means that for whatever type you are finding the cost. For example, brick industry. What is the cost object? Brick. For example, sugarcane industry. What is the cost object? Sugar. Bicycle industry. What is the cost object? Bicycle. Cloth industry. What is the cost object? Cloth. Cement industry. What is the cost object? Cement. So that's how we try to find out the cost. Suppose, for example, automobile industry, Maruti Udyog Limited. So they make different type of cars, including Baleno also at this plant. So what would be the cost object? Naturally Baleno. Cars. Right? So product here is Baleno. Service they may be utilizing like telephone lines. So for their service, the cost object is telephone lines. For their project, it may be R&D project. For their customer, it may be the dealers. For their activity, it is for their setting up of the machine. For their department, it can be different departments working in the Maruti industry like environment, health, safety departments, for which you are finding the cost. So Maruti is a very big organization. It would be divided into different segments, different customers, different activities, different services, different projects. Right? And for each of the entities or variables, you need to find out the cost. Because you can't have one cost. So it's a department-wise, activity-wise, service-wise, customer-wise, product-wise, everything will be taken into consideration to have a detailed picture of the cost. So, managers naturally want to know the cost of the various cost objects. They also want to know the budgeted and the actual cost. How do they do that? They will have to firstly track the costs. Yesterday I had discussed it with the example of pen. Which department, which center, which process it is actually affecting. Then they will have to assign the cost. For example, the managers would accumulate the cost to the desired cost object like different models of the cars. So accumulation and assignment again becomes very important. So first is the cost, second is the cost object, third comes the accumulation. Accumulation basically means that you collect the data. How do you collect the data? By means of the accounting system. And here comes the role of financial accounting also. Here comes the role of the cost accounting also. So they will collect all the cost data in certain organized way. Nowadays, almost all the organizations are working in a very professional manner. ERP system is there where you are able to track all the costs immediately. So they collect the cost for the material, they collect the cost for the labor and the supervision, right? And then they assign the costs. You have accumulated the cost, but it will not be a product wise, it will not be a segment wise or center wise, process wise. So what you will do, you will trace these accumulated costs with a direct relationship to the cost object. I give you a very simple example. Suppose red paint is being utilized in the Maruti in different models. Let us say 1000 liters. Okay. Now, if you want to know how much liter has been utilized in case of Baleno, in case of WagonR, then what will you do? We will have to trace the cost towards the WagonR. That means that becomes the cost object. Towards the Baleno, that again becomes the cost object. So how many liters of red paint has been utilized in WagonR and Baleno? And there may be certain costs which do not have a direct relationship. For example, warehouse has been hired by the company for which you are paying rent. Rent is an expense. And in that particular warehouse, you are storing the tires of the WagonR and Baleno both. What does this mean? It means that rent as a cost has an indirect relationship with Baleno and WagonR. Because this rent cost can't be directly traced with both the products. So those costs which are not directly traceable are indirect costs, but they are the part of the cost object and that needs to be taken into consideration. So that's why one will be the tracing, another will be accumulating. All right. So why
Sir,
is
you
it?
gave an example of warehouse. That is okay. But if we think of things like the salaries of the employees,
Yeah,
then
I'm coming there.
would we
Just see,
consider that as cost and
Mr. Yadav, there are numerous examples, right? And it is just not possible to discuss all the examples in a single session. I just gave you to give you the idea. For example, salary and the wages of the employees. We talked about that. So, for example, wages are there. Wages of a particular worker who is working on the shop floor. Okay. Now try to differentiate wages of a particular worker who is working on the shop floor. Now he may be working 3 hours a day on the shop floor of Wagoner and 3 hours a day on the shop floor of Baleno. Okay, so that 3 hours for Wagoner and 3 hours for Baleno would be treated as what? Direct cost. Is it or
yes,
not?
sir.
Because he is directly contributing towards the production process. Am I right, Mr. Yadav? All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose, second scenario I take, suppose that you are paying the salary to a peon. Now, please see, you are paying salary to a peon. Okay. This salary also has a cost, and where it will go? It will also go to the product. Would it go or not?
Yes, sir.
How it will go? How much it will absorb towards Baleno and towards Wagoner? Are you sure? No. Because peon is not directly contributing towards the production process, but indirectly contributing towards the production process. No, Mr. Yadav?
Yes, sir. That is what I was asking. Like in cases
So
where
now
there is
you will
management.
have to apply your financial acumen that how much you should take it to Baleno, how much to Wagoner. Right? So it will depend. How would you take it? For example, rent may be allocated on the basis of area. Salary may be allocated based upon the wage rate, depending upon case to case. We have a total flexibility of allocating the cost. But what is our ultimate
Got
aim?
it, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Jadov. What is our
Got
ultimate aim? Our aim is what? To find out the real cost of the product. That's all. How do you do it? Company A may be doing it differently. Company B would be doing it differently. Right? Because we do not have set standards. We have highly flexible stream of accounting. We don't depend upon the generally accepted accounting principles or Indian accounting standards or pessimistic approach. No. Our aim is to find out the real cost of the product. We will not ignore any cost. We will always see that the cost is allocated properly and rationally to all the products. If it is a single product industry, there is no problem. But if it is a multiple product industry, there is a problem. How do you allocate the cost to each of the products, to each of the services, to each of the jobs? Am I right, Yatharth? All right.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So why is it useful? I was coming to that also. Why is it useful to assign the cost? There may be cost of material, which is very easy to assign to the cost object. There may be the cost of the wages for the laborers who are working on the shop floor. It is very easy. But what about the supervision cost? I gave the example of rent. What about the rent? What about the administration cost? How do you allocate it? If it is a single product, you can easily allocate it as direct, indirect. All the cost would go to the product because our aim is to find out the real cost of the product and absorb the cost towards the product. Okay, but if it is a multiple product industry, we need to be very, very cautious and extra cautious that direct cost only goes to the product and indirect costs are allocated towards the product properly. Right? So always remember that any cost which is there has to be firstly accumulated to the different cost objects. For example, Baleno is there, WagonR is there, Brezza is there. These all become the cost object. How much cost they are taking as a share in the company has to be firstly accumulated together. Then after that, what are the common costs between these three? This needs to be traced. Otherwise, what will you do? WagonR would be little bit costlier than the Brezza. That may also happen. Or underestimation of the cost or overestimation of cost will be there. So it is to be traced and then it is to be allocated. So all the direct costs which are there, which have a cause and effect relationship with the products, are traced towards the product. For example, direct material. For example, direct labor. For example, direct expenses. They are directly traced towards the product. But if it is indirect, that means those costs which are not direct, they need to be allocated, they need to be absorbed towards the product. Well, there are 4 types of costs which we can classify. One is by behavior, another is by traceability, third is by relevance, and fourth is by function. Almost all the costs you must have read in different classes of your graduation as well as post-graduation. In economics also, in the previous term also, you must have read different class costs. In operations also, you must have read different type of costs. You must have read about variable and fixed. It is nothing new. You must have read about the direct and indirect costs. This we will go further. You must have also read in economics like differential cost, opportunity cost, the sunk cost. So it is nothing new I am talking about. It is just a revision, whatever you have done. Similarly, you must have read about the manufacturing cost, non-manufacturing cost, product cost, period cost. In accounting also, we will study here also. So almost all the costs you have studied, we will just do the quick revision of all those issues. So what is a direct cost? There is a direct relationship, causal relationship between cost and cost object. For example, for manufacturing a guitar, you require wires, you require wood material. So what is that? That's the direct cost. If it is a service industry, for example, hospital, cost of heating and cooling in the hospital is a direct cost. Whereas what is an indirect cost? They do not have a causal relationship between cost and cost object, but they actually help in manufacturing a particular product. For example, salary, as Yatharth had been asking, and I'm very happy that he asked this question. So salary of a plant manager, where departments within the plant are defined as a cost object. For example, production supervisor, he is not working on the shop floor, but actually supervising that how the work is going on. So that means what? He is indirectly contributing towards the production process. But his salary is a cost and it is the cost of the product. So direct and indirect cost becomes important, and direct costs are always traced towards the product and indirect costs are always allocated and absorbed. Well, rest of the things we discuss tomorrow, right? You come prepared with the rest of the portion. Tomorrow we will quickly cover and do the cost classification exercise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.